we've seen Akeem Blake beat out Jordan Anthony twice this year, both in Boston and at the Milrose games. And even at Milrose, I was actually pretty impressed because Akeem Blake didn't get like a great start, but he was still able to kind of run down the field. So I don't think this is their race to lose. I think they'll actually have some competition. This isn't 2024 when it's like Christian Coleman, Noah Lyles, who's going to win the gold medal. That this is to me, that's not this situation this year. It
I
gets
mean,
tougher when we go to
Jordan
Worlds.
Anthony is supposed to win. If he goes,
Ah,
he's supposed to win.
I don't think he's supposed to
You got to remember, he think track is soft, not my words, his words.
win.
He said, "Y'all out here wearing sweatshirts. Y'all think it's cold." Like I watched the interview that he did with Anthony.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
man
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care. He think that we soft. Is he running 200s? No. Like he's not. Is he running more consistently on the circuit? Not really. I mean, like not indoors.
Well, well,
Like
yeah,
I mean,
indoors not. Last year he ran
if
consistently.
he go all the way to World Indoors and make some noise, I will start editing something. But like my take. But if so far it looks like this year about to be the exact same thing you did last year, and we're starting off slow. She
Yeah,
runs
yeah, yeah,
fast, but she runs fast in moments that don't matter. And then when the moment that she needs it, she's not exactly that woman.
yeah, yeah,
Because like
yeah.
when's the last time you were in a race with somebody who could actually beat you? I mean, was it Tyson Invitational with Julian Alfred?
Yeah.
Where she beat you?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like
I mean,
what
no,
what
that's
happened?
well, that's true. I mean, who everyone's gonna lose to Julian Alfred, like literally every
Oh,
single person. At the top of 2026, we've already seen some of the top sprinters on the men's side in the world already dip their toes into the track in different capacities, all in different events. And I'm talking about the top three guys from the World Championships last year. No, Oblique Seville, world champion, Kishane Thompson, silver medalist, and Noah Lyles, bronze medalist. All of them coming off what we saw at the Tokyo World Championships last year. They've now come indoors or outdoors, depending on, what each of them has done. And they've actually put a mark down in some capacity across different events. I think this sets up a very good kind of outlook on what we should now expect. We have a baseline of, okay, what will 2026 look like? Now, we don't have Olympics, we don't have world championships, there's the ultimate championships, but that's kind of a new situation. But I guess based on what we've seen so far, what are you feeling about these three guys? We'll maybe talk about some of the other guys, some of the key players as well, but like just these three guys, Noah, Kashane, Oblique, like how you feeling about what we've seen so far from them?
well, we've seen three different approaches to
Mm-hmm.
get started in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they're three very different guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, in no particular order, well, who do we see first? Like, who was the first? Kishane was the first to run, technically, right?
Actually, yeah, Kashane was the very first to run. He ran the 60. I think he ran the outdoor 60. That was his first race earlier this year, right? And then came Noah. He did the 300, and then he was on the two, and then Oblique was the last one where he did a 400. He ran down in Jamaica. So Kashane, Noah, Oblique so far.
All right. So, I'm evaluate it this way. I'm evaluate it based off of what they've done this year, what
Mm-hmm.
they looked like in years prior, specifically like last year, and
Mm-hmm.
then this year is kind of murky as far as like what we're running for.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like I'm kind of measuring them against each other as well as measuring them to themselves. That's what I mean by like looking at it a few different ways. So starting with Kashane, because we'll get to Noah in a moment. Starting with Kashane, this year looked similar to last year in terms of what he did, like the races he
Mm.
chose to run. I'm gonna go run an outdoor 60. I'm gonna go overseas and I'm gonna run in a World Indoor Tour meeting, right?
Yep.
We did
Yep.
that both times. And last year when he did it, he sent out that 6-4 warning shot into the negative headwind, and it was a whole frenzy. And then he goes to Kazakhstan and looked, I mean, he won, but it was pedestrian in terms of like indoor clocks.
Yeah, he looked like a regular 60-meter indoor race, nothing special.
Yeah. So that was then. This year, that outdoor race did not look anywhere as confident compared to the last one you saw. Because the last one, it was like, oh, Kashane, like, that's how it felt. It felt like he about to destroy everything.
Hmm.
Like that's how it felt. And then this year with like it's a race.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to put it. Uh, the explanations of why, oh, it doesn't matter, and he's just opening up. See, this year y'all needed to start saying that, and by y'all I mean like whoever was on Team Kishane, Kishane is going to own the world. It was a more relevant way to break it down. But where was all that energy last year? Because last year the general rhetoric was, if he could do 6'4"
Yeah,
into a
yeah,
minus, then it's a wrap. Like, what y'all gonna do?
yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So like this year he's not, again, everybody had their own reasons and I get it. But like just he's starting in a different place. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Much different place. Much different place. And
Yeah.
I think, like you said, there's this year looks different, right? There's no, he's not like we don't know what he's targeting, but there's no world championships or Olympics to actually target. Like at the top of the year, you could say top of last year, he ran 6'4", and people's minds immediately go, okay, by world championships, he's going to be doing this, right? That was the expectation. But here it's like questionable. We literally have no idea just based on the how the calendar is, but you know it's decent. But I mean, I will say just one difference is in the second 60 that he ran. So he did the outdoor 60 and then he did the second 60. He did finish third place. Now he ran the same time that he did last year to win in Kazakhstan, but he finished third place to Ramel Glaive and Jeremiah Zhu. So there's that difference of maybe for me just more questions and answers on like, okay, like what's kind of going on here? What should we expect going forward? But
Let's start. Let's go there then. Let's have some fun. Let's go there. Kishane Thompson. We're getting to know Oblique in a moment. We're getting to
yeah.
both. But if we're gonna have some fun with this, what would you say if Kishane Thompson is in a 100-meter race and at 60 meters he's not in front? What is your hope for the remainder of that race?
If
Be
he's
real.
I mean, okay, if he's not in front by 60, then there's definitely problems. Obviously, with the caveat of, well, okay, just because we're talking about these three, if he's not in front of Noah and Oblique by 60, then he's definitely not winning that race, right? Like, that's not happening because obviously we've seen him actually two times, like back to back years. In 2024 at the Olympics, he got ran down by Noah. In 2025 at the World Championships, he got ran down by Oblique. So, and I think everyone knows that second half of his race is tougher. So, yes, like that would be a problem.
Well, in this case, he has to go run down Ramel Glaive.
Yeah,
Like
and I
that's where we're at. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's what.
yeah, yeah.
But again, it's just one race. I get it. It's just one race. So
Of
we're not here to
course.
like jump out the window. But we got here's. I'm gonna say this for the people in the back. In professional sports, we talk about the events, the games, the races. We talk about them as they happen. Like that's what we do. So if we're gonna pretend these races have no value, then we might as well turn the camera off now. If that's what we're doing, like there would be no track and field YouTube if we weren't going to talk about the races as they happen. And we can talk about the future, but in the current moment, that was my read on like, okay, where he is right now to where he was last year, he's not exactly in the same place, which tells me here's my projection. I'm gonna jump all the way out the window with this one. I don't expect Kashane to PR this season.
Mm,
That's the simplest way for me to describe. Everything else he does is whatever he does. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: I'm not waiting on a 974.
mm,
That's my
maybe. I
opinion.
don't know.
That's how I
Okay.
feel. Judge, I'm calling it early. I could go down with the ship, but it's all right. I said what I said. I mean, who knows? Maybe, I mean, truth be told, he'd have to do it for me to change my mind. I'm just be real. He'd have to do it. Like, I mean, like, I'm not going to see anything that's not him doing it and change my mind. I'll be like, oh, wow, he did it. Congratulations. I mean, I don't got a horse in the race. I don't get paid either way. But I mean, regardless, am I expecting him to do it? No, I'm not expecting a PR. Might we see 981? Yeah, that's in the cards. We might see
Man.
979. That's in the cards. But if you're asking me whether he's going to go 974, no, I'm not expecting that. So
So, wait,
that's me
so
planting my
because
flag.
man, I mean, I think it's still possible. Again, I think because this year there's no on paper there's no expectation. So for me, it's harder to read into what like this individual or these, two races that he's done this year, what they actually mean, right? Maybe it's like, okay, we're not even concerned about anything this year. We're just like let's focus in on trying to maintain ourselves and run a little bit faster, which could get him to 974. Like, and not talking about, oh, 971, like, I'm not having those conversations. Just like like 100th of a second faster than his PB, and he gets to 974 at some point. Maybe he does it at Jamaican Trials. Maybe he does it at World Ultimate Champs or something. I could still see that, even though these opening races weren't as fast as last year. I could still see that.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't see that. I
Mm.
don't see it because nothing's changed. Is he running 200s? No. Like, he's not. Is he running more consistently on the circuit? Not really. I mean, like, not indoors.
Well, yeah, indoors is not. Last year he ran
If
consistently.
he go all the way to World Indoors and make some noise, I will start editing something. But like my take. But if so far it looks like this year about to be the exact same thing you did last year, and we're starting off slower. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So if we're
yeah,
doing
maybe,
the same, if
maybe.
we're running back, then at that point we're just hoping you're going to execute better. And I know that there's always margin for you to execute better. But keep in mind, to run a PR, you have to do everything you did last time and then some.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like you
yeah,
can bring that last perfect race and then just add on to it. You have to recreate the last perfect race and then continue to make more corrections on it. And that's why I would say, considering we don't know what we're running for, I'm assuming World Ultimate is his biggest thing.
yeah. World Ultimate,
Like that's my
maybe,
judge.
maybe he does Commonwealth, but who knows? Who knows?
But yeah, I don't see any reason to believe because remember we said we are going to talk about all three. So if you move from Kishane to Noah, like this is the jump. Noah is starting this season differently.
Yeah,
Like that's just what's
he's
happening. He's not doing what
yeah,
we're used to seeing.
yeah.
So we got to grade him differently because he's telling us the plan changed.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor 300, haven't seen that in a while. Indoor
Yeah,
200, really hadn't seen that in a while,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, both of
Indoor
them.
300 twice. He ran two 300s.
Yeah, he ran an opener and then he ran in Boston. Yeah,
Then he ran
and
the
then he
200. So at this point, it's like, okay, you're clearly doing a different plan. Now, the conversation I've had over there is less about, Noah to no, well, how put it? It's Noah versus himself, and I'm looking at him now, and I'm like, he's not that kid he was years ago.
mm,
That kid is gone, and that kid's not coming back. Noah is now at the point in his career where he can be as good as he once was, but he ain't gonna be able to be up there and stay at that level as long or as confidently as he once did. He's going to have to pick his spots and be like, can I get it at this time? Like, for example,
mm.
last year, all the way he was playing around with in those Monaco races and whatnot, running people down, that Noah's dead. I know I said it. Like, I'm standing by it. The his margin for error is going to continue to get smaller. So he's going to have to decide, like, when is the moment where I need to be me? And I'm gonna show up and be that guy on this day. In these other days, I might not be exactly that guy, and he's
Yeah,
gonna be more vulnerable, is what I'm trying to say. Because the
yeah,
bulletproof Noah, that guy's gone, but he might be able to bring that vest at the right time.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my belief, judging by the first, because he was faster than this in the three. Am I wrong?
Yeah, well, yes. I
He
mean,
was.
yes. It's very different. Very different. Well,
And
yes,
the
he
indoor
in
two would have given me, I would have forgiven him. And by forgiven it, like if I got a thing to forgive him on. What I'm saying is like for who I am, the indoor two would have corrected it if he ran a more, I know it sounds crazy, but a more respectable time.
oh yeah. I mean, I think we could
Because
all agree that time was not like that was not
yeah,
Noah. Like,
for
yeah.
people who don't understand, he ran a PB in a race he doesn't really run. But to clarify, here's my rabbit. Jelani Watkins is a football player. This man played an entire season of college football, then hit the transfer portal. Pulls up to the University of Arkansas. So that means the boy ain't even trained with him. Let this sink in. Hit the transfer portal, gets out of that thing in like a week or two. He's putting on an Arkansas track and field singlet and he's going to run. So that means those coaches have done nothing to make that boy run fast. And you can't even say that the school he came from did because he was on the football field the entire time.
Mm.
Goes out there and runs 20.4 in the two indoors.
It was at that same meet at Tyson,
At the
right?
same meet. Exactly.
Yep, yep, yep.
So my point being, no, wasn't supposed to lose to that. I'm sorry. Jelani Watkins, he's fast. He's an amazing athlete. Don't get me wrong. I am a supporter. But under no circumstances do I believe that he should be beating Noah in anything, including a leaderboard.
Yeah, like because it wasn't a head-to-head race, just like on the
Yeah.
clock.
So
Earlier that day is like Jelani Watkins
yeah,
ran faster than Noah.
yeah. So I'm like I'm pulling the data on where these people are and where they are in their career trajectories and saying, okay, Noah, like you're still you, but it's just like when you're playing NBA 2K and if you do multiple seasons in like the My League mode or whatever,
Hmm,
players
hmm.
have this a rating that's called potential. And there becomes a point in your career where see, your potential rating is like how good could you possibly ever get? So for some players, it might be 83. So he's 72 today, but he's 22 years old. And if you keep him on your team and work with him, he might get up to 83.
Hmm, hmm.
So in track and field terms, whatever Noah's potential is, if Bolt is 99, then what we gonna call Noah? 95?
In terms of his entire career, I mean, 95 seems like it makes sense. 90 something
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
Bolt's
yeah,
99, could we say Noah's 95?
yeah. I guess it makes
Well, like
sense. Yeah,
that would
yeah,
be
yeah,
his overall. All right. So if
yeah.
Bolt's 99 and we say Noah's a 95, then guess what? We just hit the moment where his potential hit dash. Because up until then, your potential is a number. It is a number that you can ascend to. And when you're at your peak, you still hold on to whatever that number is. But the day that your potential hits dash means you are now going negative. And
Mm.
it never turns back. That's how the game made it. Hey, it's just a video game, but I think it's based in a degree of reality where once your potential hits dash, from that point on, because it doesn't mean that you're immediately going to get worse. What it means is for you to be able to give us 95, you can't give it the way you used to. Because you might be a 92, 93 who can figure out how to do all the right things to get those bonus points to get you back to 95. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the next year, you're not 92, 93 getting some bonuses. That's what I'm trying to say. Noah might be 92 now, but can give you 95 on the right day and say, this is the day where 95 needs to show up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess then that I think last year, because the World Championships last year, so just thinking of the 200 first, like the World Championships last year was insanely close. Like that was basically by an edge where you have Kenny, you have Brian, you have Letsile, like everyone is super close and Noah runs, 19.5 to get that gold medal. And that was kind of the idea of okay, everyone is like very, very close. All these guys are significantly younger. Looking at these indoor races for Noah, I don't think this changes that landscape. I don't think it moves, for me personally, it doesn't like move him down and say, okay, things are still getting closer or anything. But I agree, as he gets farther along in his career, obviously it's going to get harder just on a baseline as he gets older and as these guys get, much stronger. The younger guys get older, and stronger. But I look at this almost in the same place as I look at Kishane, where I'm like, I don't know if this tells me as much about what to look forward to outdoors in the 200 and then also in the 100 as well, because it's not like he's lined up against Oblique or Kishane or Kenny or Letsile. Just like Kishane, it's not like, sure, he lost that 60-meter race, but it wasn't against Noah and Oblique. It's not like a race that actually has some value. Even last year with like the Monaco Diamond League or, the Zurich Diamond League where, Noah is running against Letsile, on the circuit. In theory, those races don't matter, but there's a level of stakes because of who is actually in that race that gives me an idea of okay, now I can look at and see like what this actually means. But these indoor races, unfortunately, because I mean I don't know, of some people like indoors, but unfortunately they don't give me a clear indication of like okay,
Oh, yeah.
this is going to mean something. But long term, I can understand Noah definitely going down, but I could still see Noah this year running like 19.4. I would not be surprised if Noah runs 19.4 at the end of this year and is like whatever, has like the top time of the year. Like I can still see that for him, even if I think he's going to continue to theoretically go down. Mm.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to beat the horse. I'm just playing it through. And then, cause I respect everything you're saying. And I could come to that side. I'm just taking the other side of the argument because it's just that's where I'm being drawn to because I remember Noah Lyles, the young kid, 2018, winning USAs in the 100. I remember the
Yeah.
exuberance, the energy, the vibrance. And at that point, when he first becomes Noah Lyles, like the term, like that first 200-meter world, like that was when he was still on the ascension. But I saw this just like, just take on the world, like just go after it energy, right? And he still had a lot of that energy. It's just like if you remember watching LeBron, like go back and watch old LeBron, like
Hmm.
old as in
Hmm.
young LeBron, but like old, and you'll be like, oh snap, he really is older. See, at
Yeah.
first you don't feel it because you've been watching it year to year,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
then you
yeah.
gotta go see the footage and be like, this ain't the same guy.
It's
You see what I'm saying?
true.
These are the moments when I'm like watching Noah and I'm saying, this ain't the same guy. Still great. Don't get me wrong. Still great. It's just you're not the same anymore. And that's part of that is before it was more like, because Noah, there's two sides to it. Everybody has a different approach, and we're about to get to Oblique. But with Noah's approach, it's been, I'm gonna run as much as I need to make sure I'm ready. And I honestly
Yeah.
think that these 300s, that 200, all of it, I mean, yes, part of it is him having fun, but I ain't gonna lie to you. The other half is I think he realizes he needs this now to get ready.
Okay, you think so? Well,
Like he's not just
but
running it just for no reason. Like if he's going to, you know, random meets in Gainesville to run an indoor 300, he has a reason to go because they're not paying him a dime.
no.
So that means he believes that that race was necessary for something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm starting to notice this is the catch. When you watch an athlete who is great, and you don't have to like Noah to acknowledge that this is true, that when you see an athlete who's great and you see them set their mind to something, and then there's this moment when you realize that just because they set their mind to it doesn't mean they can hit it anymore.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's
Oh yeah,
and,
of
and
course.
that's why it's like when Noah has goals, now I'm realizing that he might not hit that goal. There was a
Oh yeah.
time when he really, for the most part, if he put it on the board, it's likely because he was going to get dangerously close to hitting it. And now some of those goals might just be a goal. Like it is what it is. Like the feet last year's worlds to where from from where we are now. What I'm saying is last year's world because like last year in the 200, 'cause we got to transition. I know this. In the 200 last year, would you agree that Noah was hands down the best 200-meter runner in the world?
Yeah.
Did
It
he
was
lose one?
well, he didn't. I hesitate
And
because
he
I'm
and he
like,
raced and he raced everybody.
yeah, yeah, I mean, he raced everybody between Kenny and then I think Kenny, let's see, and then of course Brian was the last one at World Champs. The only reason I hesitated is because I didn't see it like in previous years where even in the Olympic years when he lost, then I would confidently feel like, okay, Noah is the best 200 runner in the world. But last year entering World Champs, I was like, he's the best, but the field is very, very close. Like I felt less confident about him winning than in previous years, even though he was the best.
Brian Lavelle was the only wild card. Everybody else Noah had already dunked on. Like he'd already dunked on everybody before the Worlds. So when they get close to him, that's just them trying to match his energy. So because they'd already lost. They'd actually raced him and lost. If you were an American, you'd already lost. You'd done this already. If your name was Litsila, you'd already tried this and it didn't work. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Well, but it's like every year that goes on, it gets tougher and tougher to say. Because going into 2027, Noah can go undefeated entering world championships in the 200, but I'm not going to be very confident that he's going to win, knowing that Brian and let's see, like, even if they lost, like they are significantly younger and they're getting better.
yeah,
While to your, it's
it depends on what we see. If
yeah,
if he's gonna if he could last year he was edging out those victories. That was the other half of the point.
yeah.
He was hands down the best, but edging him out.
Hmm.
Do you remember 2022 Noah? Was he coming off
Yeah.
turns behind people then?
No, he was unstoppable. Literally
He's not,
since
it's not
for
the same.
years.
He's
Yeah,
winning a whole
exactly.
different way. Remember, when you are a great, what happens is you got to be good enough where you can fall off and still be ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's how it works. That's all the sports, all the sports. Again, Serena Williams at the back part of her career wasn't the same Serena you saw earlier. but
Yeah.
she had margin to not be as great and still be
Hmm.
better than you today. Bolt did it
Hmm.
at the end of his career, where he had margin to be not himself anymore, but still better than you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And that Noah is now in that phase. I'm calling it. He's in that phase where that margin, whatever margin he had built up, that's what he's working with now.
Yeah. Yeah.
He ain't
I
gonna get
agree.
no
I
new
agree.
margin. That's done.
I agree.
Like so,
It's yeah.
19-2, bye. That's done.
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
it
yeah.
ride. That's
That's the
out.
tough part. And to your point where he can have, I'm sure Noah still has those goals of, yeah, I want to run 19, 19-1 to break the world record. I want to run whatever 9-6 to, get into that realm in the 100. But I'm not gonna, say, oh no, don't reach for the goals, but it just realistically gets significantly harder. But for me, at least, these indoor races haven't told me enough about what to expect outdoors or expect as we go through the season, because it hasn't been against those actual guys. Like, all due respect, racing against Udodi and Chekna, like, I say all due respect because like they are talented in their own right. Like, I'm not gonna disparage an NCAA champion, but
That
when
was
I'm looking at
that then, not now.
I mean, it's true. But like when I'm talking about Noah Lyles, I have to put Kishane Thompson, Oblique Seville, Kenny B. Like those are the guys in the same conversation. So that's what I'm looking for. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah.
you brought up Udodi and Chekna. They're an amazing test case because on both ends, I mean, granted, Chekna hasn't been out of college quite as long, but even then, it's
Yeah.
only been a few years. Neither of them have run as fast as the guys from that college, like that college circuit.
Oh. Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
19.7, 19.8, 19.9 guys, we haven't seen that guy.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, yeah.
So, like, it just is the facts. We just haven't. You know what I mean? So, as a result, I mean, it's interesting that because they train with Noah, and I know they did the whole pure athletics 200-meter sprint crown thing. Bro, as somebody who ran a bunch of indoor 200s, and you ran some too,
Hmm.
when I'm watching Check and Trayor come off that turn in lane 4 and be right on Noah's heels, I'm like, that ain't supposed to happen. Now, granted, maybe Checkna went back to this Penn State form. Maybe he went back
Yeah.
and found something in the vault. And I say, like, that, hey, I know how to do this indoor 2 thing. That's part of it. But at the end of the day, like, he was really right there
Yeah,
coming out of
yeah.
lane 4 on an indoor 2,
Yeah, it's
which
true.
told me, like, all right, like, because when we go watch FEC this weekend. Tell me how many boys out of lane 4 gonna do anything in any of these 200-meter heats. The
Nah.
only way you getting out of a prelim in lane 4 is if they set you up with some people who really ain't got it. Ain't no way they're
Yeah.
gonna put you up with people who have close to your speed and you getting out of into the finals from lane 4. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
lane
yeah.
draw might be what sets you up. But yeah, but over to the oblique situation because he's different.
He's
So
different. I mean, he's maybe the one I would say we have the least information on, but he did run the 400. I think it was just a week ago. Well, um, actually the same weekend that Noah ran the 200, but he ran the 400 down Jamaica outdoors. He ran a marginal personal best. It was 46.9 compared to, I think he ran like 47.04 last year or something. So marginal personal best. Obviously, we're not checking like it's not oblique. Oh, he should have ran 44. Like we're not talking about like a 400 for Oblique Seville. But I guess the question is like, what does this mean for him going forward? And for me personally, in terms of like context, obviously he won the gold medal last year in the 100. He afterwards he got surgery on his toe because he'd had a toe injury, from my understanding, for like since he was in high school. He just never. It wasn't bad enough where he couldn't run, obviously, but it was he wanted to like be able to address it. So he got surgery. So now for me going in, knowing he's set a personal best going into 2026, that at least shows me it seems like he hasn't lost a step. Where I'm assuming going through the rest of the year, I could probably bank on him keeping in that 9-7 form in the 100 meters. That's at least my thought process. Again, this is only one data point in a 400, but I don't know. It's a positive sign for me.
yeah, well, I that's how I would have said it similarly. I mean, and when I say that, let's say what I mean is using the exact same test I gave everybody else. because Kishane did the same thing that he did last year and
Hmm.
didn't start off quite the same way. Noah's
Yeah.
doing a whole different plan. However,
Yeah.
we had expectations for how this was going to go because we've seen him in years prior. And here, I feel like Oblique is on the same trajectory or following a similar plan, but the plan worked last year.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's at least in the exact same place, if not slightly ahead of wherever he was. So it's like, well, let's just assume this year he's going to give you what he gave you last year. You see what I'm saying? Like Oblique is in his peak, if you're asking me. Like he's in that phase now where you're arriving at the greatness that he's going to give you and will continue
Hmm.
to give you before he hits the minus or hits that decline. Noah is
Hmm.
in the decline, but does he have enough margin to stay above the rest of the field?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and again, the decline is going to be, I believe, is like across a season. I don't expect to see Bulletproof Noah anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
he can
fair.
pick moments and say, I'm going to show up today. But he can't do it the way he used to and be like, I'm going to dunk on you in Monaco. I'm going to dunk on you in Zurich. I'm going to dunk on you at USA's and at Worlds. It's going to be like, all right, I got to pick these moments, man.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Like
Well,
he might come to a yeah, like I think so anyway, that's my take on Oblique. Like I have more confidence that World Ultimate, if I had to pick a winner, it's him.
okay, okay. Because I was gonna say, if we were to look just with these three, Oblique, Noah, Kishane, we've obviously seen all three of them run 9.7 at some point. Noah Lyles 9.79 at the Olympics in 2024, Kishane now 9.75 last year, and then Oblique, and that was at Jamaican Trials, and then Oblique ran 9.77 to win World Championship gold. I would venture to guess Noah is probably on the back end of this. Like he would probably be in third place hypothetically, but like maybe between Kashane Oblique, like would you pick either one of them to run 9.74, essentially break into an actual time like that would because what Justin Gatlin is like fifth fastest all time. Would you pick any of them to either tie or surpass Justin Gatlin? And this year, because who knows what may happen in like the future years, but like this would be a time that really breaks into that Bolt era situation. I wonder if you'd
Um,
think any of them
all
could.
right, well let's go through all three because we you could dismiss Noah.
Well, I mean,
I
just
mean, I mean, hey, look. I'm gonna do my evaluation. It's likely gonna land in the same place. So the evaluation is, do I think Noah is gonna run a legitimate PR in 2026 and 100? The answer is not even close. Moving on.
oh, not
So
okay, not even close. Okay. Yeah,
legitimate PR was a statement.
yeah,
Legitimate
yeah.
PR was the statement. The answer is no.
Well,
I don't see that.
well,
Do I see 983, 984, 985? Yeah, I can see that. Moving on.
okay, okay, okay.
Judging by
Hmm,
what we've seen before, keeping the same energy. I have
hmm.
to be consistent with what I said before. Do I
The
expect to
only
see
re
9-7 this year? No. Next year,
oh,
if it's coming back in a world or Olympic year. It's not
yeah, yeah,
coming this
yeah.
year because he
The
has
only
to pick
reason
his spots. And
the
why
only
would he
reason I
pick this year?
pause is only because you said like not even close. Like if you ran like 9.81 or something, would that be surprising? Or 9.80?
Mm, judging by last year, what was his best? 987?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, to be fair, he
Injured at some
obviously
point and
yeah,
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 some
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But I don't
I
know.
think 984, 985, that's what that feels more. Let's use 984 used to be a great time. Used to be. I'm gonna say 984.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
984. He might even again 984 still win. Like I see that. I could see that. And but here's why Oblique would be to answer your question. No, I don't. I've already said I don't think Kashane's running the PR this year. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I gave my reasons. As far as Oblique, if someone was going to do it, it'd be him. But that's because he don't have no chill button.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
feel like in
true.
the regular season, Oblique don't care. Like he just be like I feel like Noah's aware he's dunking on you, and Oblique just be like, wait, did I dunk? Like
That's true. He just be going out there running and it's
he
like
he just be like he doesn't go yeah like before I feel like after the race he looks up sees the time and it's like I knew I could do it
yeah, 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 yeah,
but like
yeah.
I feel like Noah be actually like trying to do it.
That's fair. That's a good, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like Kashane, I feel almost like the weight of the world is on his shoulders where he's like I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like
That
Noah's
that's
trying,
fair.
Kashane is supposed to, and Oblique just be like I mean how put it like it's almost like haphazard that these races just be coming out how they do. Because it's like,
That's true.
so for that reason, like he would mess around and run 974 in an off year in a
Yeah.
random professional race. He would be the one.
He'd be the one. He'd be the one. Yeah, probably. I think both Kishane and Oblique have. I could see them both doing it this year. I feel like Oblique maybe. I just Oblique to me is actually very dangerous because last year he essentially like quote unquote figured it out, where it's like you got the gold medal after multiple times of not getting on the podium, and now he's like healthy, like fully healthy. Like I said, he got surgery, and last year he was like you said, he was showing up to races in whatever Lausanne with like pouring rain, and his post race interviews, he's like, this was whatever. Like I'm just trying to get the gold. Like the time, whatever times he ran, he didn't even care. He's just like, yeah, I'm just trying to get the gold. So yeah, I'd say then, but I won't underestimate Noah this year. I think because he's given, not to say I'm not saying he's going to run I'm not saying even saying he's going to run a personal best, but I do think he still has that ability to like show up and run fast when he might need to. I don't know when
Yeah.
that might be, but you know, I'm not going to
When
underestimate him.
here's the thing about you got to understand why I was picking Noah in hundreds at any point. Because there was a time when I never thought he was going to win 100. Then he won one. Then there was a time like the worlds. I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
2023, I did the report. I didn't think he would ever win in a world 100. And then he wins it in 2023. And during those rounds, I said, yo, he might actually win this. I remember during the rounds, like after the end of the first round, I was like, this could actually happen. Like
Yeah,
we could be
yeah.
living in a world where this happens. 2024, I'm like, he ain't gonna win it again. And then and I'm looking around at the landscape, I'm like, he might win this again. Then he won it. And I was like, all right, look, this really just happened. So for 2025, I was like, nah, I ain't gonna pretend he can't win it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But part of why we were taking him wasn't because we thought he could run these times nobody else could run. That wasn't why.
Yeah, yeah, nah.
It was because I felt like when something goes wrong, he's the one I trust to adjust the most.
Hmm.
And I still don't take that away. That's why when I say 984, if the race falls to Noah, he's taking it.
That's fair. Yeah,
That's how
that's
I
fair.
feel. If the race falls to him, like if the environment, the conditions set it up where he don't have to run 977, meaning give us a minus headwind and some other stuff
Yeah.
that kind of make us wait for 8 minutes or something. Now I'm taking him because
Yeah, yeah.
he's the one who's gonna stay least rattled under those environments because it's like he's aware everybody else is about to be off.
That's true.
And it's
That's
like, oh,
fair.
but I'm about to be on because however he trains has allowed him to kind of slide into that pocket. So there's always a doorway. You got to shut the door on Noah to keep him out.
Yeah.
And seemingly nobody's been able to keep him off the podium. Because again, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and he still figure out a way to get that far. So I think that's my read. It's just that Oblique is at this time,
Yeah,
like
he's a guy.
he's giving us the most data.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, we'll have this is only getting started. As far as we know, none of them. We know Noah's not going to World Indoors. We know Oblique is not going to World Indoors, and anything could happen. But we still got the whole year to see what they actually end up doing. So that'll be
But
something.
I'm gonna say this last piece. What if they all did like the crazy world I like to live in where people actually run races? What would happen if they all ran a 60?
If they all ran a 60, man, and we're talking about like let's say hypothetically, like at the World Indoor Champs, or like just in a one-off
If
race.
they all went to World Indoors, I mean, Oblique's not ready, but let's say he got himself ready.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
pulled up, now who would you take?
In a 60 at World Indoors, I'd probably I'd probably take Kishane. If I'm assuming they're all like, prepped and ready for World Indoors, I'd probably take Kishane because I think talking about just a 60 meters, like Kishane is most likely going to have the best start overall and be able to maintain it for just that 60 meters. I think Oblique would be close and Noah would be just behind, but just based off like again, assuming we get to World Indoors, they're all prepared for it, and it's like, yo, this is where I'm trying to end up. I would probably take Kishane in a close race over Oblique and then Noah. That's probably how I'd go.
What if the 2024 Noah comes?
I'd still probably take Kishane because at that point, I'm still looking at like 2024 Noah. Now, granted, he was going up against Christian Coleman, who's like the 60-meter GOAT, right? But again, if I'm thinking about who is able to execute the 60 meters to the best of their ability, it'd be closer, but I still think I would take Kashane, Oblique, and then Noah. And everyone would be like, it'd be like 7-4. I'm sorry, it'd be 6-4. Oh, no, my bad. Yeah. 6-4-0 to like 6-4-1, 6-4-2. Like it would all be super, super close. So yeah, I'd probably still take that.
Do
I don't
you
know.
think that this is what I would say? Just going off of your argument, but also comparing what I saw with against Ramel Glaive and
Mhm.
Jeremiah Azu. I think that Kashane would still tie up at the line regardless of where the line is. Because that's what happened in that race. And that's what happened in his Jamaica race earlier this year. So I think that regardless, wherever the line is, he ended up pressing in that on that last those last steps to the line. And that's what leaves the door
Mhm.
open.
Well, but
Like this idea he see if there's a difference between running clear of the field and running with the pressure. I don't never seen
mm,
him run incredibly fast with the pressure and hold them off, right? The report
I
has seemingly
guess
always been that the pressure comes and he starts to fold a little bit. The best times he had, that pressure never came, right?
well, I guess it then depends because I wasn't factoring in these races from this year because then
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
different because in my thought process is like okay their goal is to compete at the World Indoor Championship so they're going to be targeting things a little bit different versus like what we saw this year but I think and then I'm thinking about like okay the pressure of like was there pressure at Jamaican Champs when he ran 9.75 and then the year before he ran like 9.77? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, Oblique Seville was in both of those races. So was there pressure? Obviously,
I
Noah
mean,
Lyles wasn't there, but
Oblique
I
didn't
think
start like Oblique in that race. Remember with the whole cramping thing? I mean, I was watching it on
that's
Jamaican
true.
TV. Like it was a whole there was a whole narrative behind that. I mean, Oblique just proved his talent that he was able to run it the same way that he ran his way out of the prelims at Worlds this year. After, sitting in the blocks essentially, I thought that there was a clock error
Yeah,
when it was
yeah,
all
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Like I had to eventually, retract and be like, nah, I guess this really happened. Because I was watching it, I was like, the math wasn't mathing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I mean, it was just it's a crazy question, like because we've seen Noah run a 60, and we've seen him put down actually really impressive times. Like that
Yeah.
time, like it ain't like let's back up. That version of Noah was slaughtered World Indoor last year.
Well, yeah, 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 of course. I mean,
You see what I'm
he
saying? Like
would.
he would have been a gold medalist. So it's not just oh he lost to Christian Coleman. It was like no, he really was the best guy in those races, not named Christian Coleman.
Yeah. I mean, there's a factor though of having Christian Coleman to go off of both physically like in the race like chasing Christian Coleman and then also like metaphorically of okay I know Christian Coleman is going for World Indoors so I have to show up in these other races to prove myself.
Because he beat him at USA's, and that was like how many people can say they beat Christian Coleman in 60 as a pro?
No, like honestly off the top of my head like two people. Like
Like who else beat him?
well, he lost to Marcel Jacobs in
Oh, so you got
2022
to be
at
an
World
Olympic gold
Indoors.
medalist. All right then.
But
The only people to beat that man have been an Olympic 100-meter gold medalist.
yeah, no, that's why I think Christian Coleman is a 60-meter GOAT. Like he's an absolute GOAT. Like it's undeniable. But if I'm saying taking Noah 2024 at his best in the 60, and then I have to take hypothetical because we've never seen Kashane or Oblique, do a full indoor season. Hypothetically, at their best, I don't think. I think one of them would win a race over
Oblique
no
is the
would
wild
win
card because we don't have any data. We just know what he's done outdoors.
outdoors. But that's why I'm like, if I'm just taking what they hypothetically are capable at 60, like if you just take some, splits from their hundreds, it's like Kishane and Oblique
Yeah,
are definitely ahead.
I guess I mean, this is a potentially wild take, but I mean, guess what I'm saying is considering the psychology of sprinting for a moment, and by that I mean not just how fast are you, but the
Hmm.
psychology of running to the line, like there's an actual line you're running to, and when
Hmm.
people press on that way to the line, knowing the line is coming, and the pressure of the other lanes around you, specifically when those people can run right up on you. When you add those psychological components, I'm not taking Kashane over Noah in the 60, not in a real one. And the reason is because I think both of those things are still going to matter because I have seen that they haven't changed whether it was 60 or a 100. He was always still running to the line, and the pressure still would truncate his sprinting. Therefore,
Yeah.
if you move the line in, it's almost like the 100 gives him more space to play with because by moving the line away, he doesn't press for the line as quickly. So he gets more time to run kind of like free before he
Yeah.
has to be like, oh snap, no, it's coming. In the 60, that line's coming faster. So that panic is going to come faster of like, oh snap, the line is coming and no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
coming.
yeah, yeah.
So like that fold
Yeah.
moment, and remember, he didn't have as much time to get to get that lead because I think Noah runs his hundreds a little bit differently than the 60s.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
In other
yeah.
words, like he doesn't shift through the gears quite the same way
Mm.
because he understands that he's running to that line, which is why like he can run. Like 'cause keep in mind, like Noah don't be losing a lot of 60s, not at this stage of his career when he does run them.
Yeah.
Even
I mean,
2023 USA's, he was arguably the favorite to win that. I mean, there was really nobody else showing up to USA Indoor, but like for those who were there, you could have argued he was the favorite to win it and was looking really good, and then just didn't run that final. And JT Smith, of all people, gets it running against some college kids. But you're trying to tell me that Noah couldn't have beat JT Smith? Is that your argument? Like, because he could have been because he could have been a double USA Indoor champion just by beating JT Smith in a final.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, no, it's true, it's true. And also to be clear, I'm just doing it off the top of my head. I don't know if like Oblique or Kashane have actually run faster 60-meter splits in their hundreds than like Noah's, 60-meter personal best. But in general, they are better starters. So that's where I was going off of. But to your point, the idea of like that line, that like mental aspect of okay, there's a line coming up and I'm running to that line versus okay, I'm executing a full 100 meters and in a 60 within 100, I'm able to execute a little bit better. That's true for Kishane. I mean, I guess it's so hard because we've seen Noah run the 60 meters indoors and go all the way to world indoor champs. So it's like we have a clear understanding of what he can do, but we just have not seen it from Kishane or Oblique outside of Kishane running, a few, actually only two indoor 60-meter races in his entire life. It's not like he has a couple of them to really go off of. So, and Oblique has zero from what I know. So it's like, it is, it is tricky,
Oblique would be the
but
wild card, and he's the one that's like I know. I feel more confident that he could execute, but I will go back to the whole split thing for what it is, where I do think that this whole like splits on the way to the
mhm.
100. The reason why I don't trust those splits for even a second is because the clock's always be coming out crazy fast. I think splits are highly unofficial. There isn't the way that they calculate them is highly unofficial. And lastly, as you just mentioned, even if we give it credit, there's the lack of the line,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
why if we just gave them credit for what they are, it's still not the same thing as running actually to the line.
yeah,
There's a psychological piece. Like if the only way you could ever get past that is you'd have to essentially convince an athlete to not race to that line.
yeah.
But how
No,
do you
that's
do
true.
that?
I agree.
It's
I
kind of like
agree.
Mike Tyson saying like I'm gonna punch through his head. Like I'm not punching his head, I'm punching through it. I'm punching to a spot behind it.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way. Like is it's kind of like in college, as random as this is. We had in the Lafayette Lehigh, there was a cross country dual meet, and it was clear that the best runner was the best five distance runner that Lehigh had. But
Mhm.
when he finishes, it's a cross country dual meet, and like our team was not that good, just being real, for like what the 8K was. So the guy they had, I mean, I'm gonna shout him out on this podcast now. Evans, I think his name was Evans Koske. I think that's what his name was. Could be
Mm.
wrong. Hopefully I didn't get it wrong. I tried to give him his flowers, where he came through the line and then kept running. No cap. Like he just went straight into his cooldown. He didn't stop. Like he went in through the chute, grabbed his little tag, kept it moving.
Just kept going.
And then that boy was still rolling for another mile. I think he just kept cooling down. He was so hard ahead. And he was like, hey, like this is not y'all not my level, but that's kind of how you'd have to do it. Like just keep going.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's fair. That is true. That is fair. And even more so, to be fair, like we've seen what happens with, certain athletes when they got those bank tracks, and you're coming from the 60 and you got to go up and you got to land a certain way. If you don't land properly, by you might get injured. So you have athletes before the line thinking about, oh, I got to like slow down or else I'm going to injure myself. So that's a whole thing in
Just like those high
itself.
school kids running and jumping on a high jump mat.
Oh yeah.
They're trying
Yep,
to
yep,
pump the
yep.
brakes and jump
Yep.
on a mat. One kid flew over the mat, did a
No, so
flip.
that's true. That's true.
This is
That's
really where
true.
we at. So, hey, indoor track. There we go. USA Indoor Championships are coming. And if you're watching this, I'm going to assume that the races haven't gone off yet. But then again, I could be wrong about that. As for why it matters, well, some of the fastest men in the world are going to show up. I say some because it's not going to be most, specifically when we're talking about the Americans. But the real conversation is how did this shape us up for the world indoors? And I do think the conversation does have to start all the way at the top. And when I say that, there's actually four names. And then after that, it becomes a very different conversation altogether. So those four names, in no particular order, for the purpose of the argument, you have Noah Lyles, who's already told us he's not going to world indoors, but he's going to run the 60 for the first time this season. Then you have, former American champion indoors in the 60 for 2024, didn't run it in 2025. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you go. Then you have Jordan Anthony, who is the world leader, 643. Nobody else is within 500th of a second. 648 is the next time on that board. So there's that. Then you have former world indoor champion Trayvon Bromell, who's run 652, 653 this year thus far.
Yep. Yeah, 650. Yeah, 650. That sounds right.
Yep. And then you have Ronnie Baker, who has most recently, I remember seeing him with at the Tyson invite where he put down 6'5" mid,
Yeah,
but
655, I think.
we've seen him go faster. He's also right up there on that top 10 leaderboard all time in the 60. And he still to this day, as far as I'm concerned, was supposed to win the World Indoor Championship last year, got hurt in the final, but was undefeated throughout his entire indoor season. And he actually ran a full indoor season. It wasn't one of those like runner meet, show up to USA's and then I'm out. So after that, the field gets basically a whole bunch of names who most people haven't really recognized, some of which are still in college. A lot of kids who go for programs that aren't in the power conferences, their conference doesn't conflict and they just are on the start list anyway. I mean, some of these kids, I'm sure, are probably not even from Division One. I mean, I saw a freshman from a Division Two school on the list. Shout out to him. So you could take them if you want to. You could. I'm just not joining you. So, what do we expect at the USA indoor meet? First off, who do we think is actually going to win? Is it Jordan Anthony's race to win or lose? Two people still get to go, so we basically have to kind of start off with who are the two?
Well, so my thought process is if Noah Lyles shows up, I think it'll be hard to actually take him down. Now, I say shows up because he hasn't run at 60 meters this year. We've seen him run a 300 or two 300 races. We've seen him run a 200 race. You can, break down how those were, but I don't know how that translates to a 60 this specific year. He's spoken about that, he's just doing these different events to have fun. But if he shows up, if we see the Noah Lyles that we know, regardless if, Jordan Anthony is like at that same time, I think it'd be hard to bet against Noah Lyles. But considering he hasn't run and now seeing that Jordan Anthony at least says, he's building up consistency, his most recent race being that 643, which ties Noah Lyles in terms of personal best. I now question, can Noah Lyles actually take down Jordan Anthony, or is this going to be the Jordan Anthony show? Because I think for Jordan Anthony, at least this year, we saw him run at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. We saw him run at the Millrose Games. I think both times he finished maybe third place, ran like 6'6" something. And then he finally shows up at the Tyson Invitational, runs his 6'4'3". Now, you could say, the massive personal best. You could say he's finding his form. He was very, he was at home in a sense, like, he was at the University of Arkansas. Is he going to be able to carry that through to USA's to take down an entire field? Because now it's like Noah Lyles is hypothetically, in the lane next to you. He did take down Trayvon Bromell and Ronnie Baker in that race, but will you be able to really live up to that pressure? Or will we see Noah Lyles come out and be like, no, this is my realm, right? Like I know how to do this. Not only have I won USA's, I've won a medal at World Indoors only behind Christian Coleman, the greatest of all time. That's where I'm starting. Now, Trayvon, Ronnie, they're definitely in that conversation because we know what they can do. Both of them have won medals at World Indoors, Trayvon winning gold. But maybe that's my first thought process of like, can Noah Lyles essentially open up his 60-meter season and take down the field? I don't know if he can, though. I don't know.
I'll actually say this. Nobody cares about the 60, but I do. So here we go. Um, if we actually cared about it, this would be an amazing movie if Noah does win.
Yeah.
For those who don't care, I'll make the video. Not because I'm a Noah Lyles fan, but because I call him like I see it. He is not supposed to win. Not after the season he's been having. Because he hasn't run any 60s and he wasn't even that dominant in the races he was running.
Hmm.
So for those reasons, like he's not the fastest in the world in the 300. He ain't the fastest in the world in the indoor 200.
Yeah.
And he ain't run a 60 this whole time. So if he comes to USA's and beats the world leader in the 60, even if it's his training partner, congratulations. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, that's right up there with beating Christian Coleman. It's another one. It's another feather in his cap, like another, add it to the movie. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Of like the greatest hits. To me, it'll be a greatest hit because it'll make USA Indoor have some juice. That said, if he does what I expect he will, he'll be in the final, make it look interesting, mix it up, maybe get third, fourth, who knows. So like that's what I'm expecting.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I'm looking at the whole race to unfold this way. If I'm gonna be as harsh as I possibly can on how I read it. So I'm gonna go. Hey, I ain't gonna spitball. I'm gonna go back and look at the names before I make this pick. I want to verify something. Now I see these are the names: Noah Lyles, Jordan Anthony, Trayvon Bromell, and Ronnie Baker. I'm looking through the rest of this list. Do I see anybody who tells me that I have a reason to mention them? To be honest, no. So
Unfortunately,
I
it's
could I'd be saying it just because I like you and throwing stuff at the wall. But if okay, for the people in the back, let me tell you the names like that. Hey, I'm rooting for you. I'm gonna pick finalists just to be fun. I'm gonna pick some. Mason Phillips, I would love to see you in this final. Lawrence Johnson was at the USA 100 final last year. Fully expect he'll be there again. There's no reason why he shouldn't. Emmanuel Wells went to World Indoors last time I checked. He got like a kind of like a
hmm.
extra spot or something. The way things
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
played
yeah.
because Ronnie
Yeah,
Baker
they
had a
had
wild
somebody had a
card.
wild card, yeah.
Yeah, and he makes finals in the 60s, so there you go. And then so that's one, two, three. I made three picks and a player to be named later. Dylan Mitchell, the high school kid, is on the starting list. Do I expect him to make the final? I do not, but he might, because the high school kids have no chill button. And then you have, some college kid. It'll likely be a college kid who'll get that other spot, but Marcellus Moore could turn up because he's the
Okay.
Melrose champion from 2025.
Yeah, from last
So,
year.
so I picked the whole final just to let people know I care. But after that, I picked all of y'all to be behind these four names because Trayvon Bromell and Ronnie Baker, in no particular order, I'm expecting them to go 650.
Yeah,
That's what I'm expecting. They're going to run their best races of the season because that's what they do, and like they know they're supposed to, and that's what it means to be a pro. So I'm just going to pencil them in for 650. So the question is, where are you going to be, over or under? Jordan Anthony, will you be over 650? If you give us Tyson Invitational field to it, then he'll be over. NCAA indoor last year, he would have beat them as well.
Hmm.
So I have two reasons to believe he can be on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Noah, is
the
he good? I don't know if he's going to be on the other side though, not from where he
it's it.
started from. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
going to
whole
put
question.
him behind them.
Yeah, I'm with you with Noah for sure. I see him like third, fourth, like somewhere in that realm. Like I can't see him finishing lower than fourth place. Again, all due respect to everyone else, but I just can't see that.
All
Like,
due respect.
yeah, I can't see that. But I actually, even considering what we just saw from Jordan Anthony, I think I have a lot of confidence in Trayvon because if we remember, so he ran at the Tyson invite, and yes, he ran 6.53. He finished, behind Jordan Anthony. But for all intents and purposes, that was his season's opener because he did run at South Carolina a week before, but he ran the heats and he false started in the semis, and so he didn't get a chance to actually run his opener. So him running 6.53 to me, that gives me more confidence that he's probably going to be in 6'4", if not 6'4" high, maybe 6'4" mid. I know that. I mean, I have a lot of confidence in Trayvon Bromell where I could see. So if I was to actually pick someone, I'd say Trayvon or Jordan are like my picks of the guys who are going to Worlds. And I think Trayvon, just based on his experience and based on what he did last year, where outdoors in 100, he showed up. Like, I know he didn't make the team, outdoors, in what was one of the fastest, U.S. championships in history, finishing fourth place, running 9.84. But considering that, I think there's a level of confidence and drive that he has to show up here and be like, I still have it. Like, I'm still capable of showing up here. And I would be more confident if the race was run in like, if I had to flip a coin and say, okay, this athlete is going to win running like 6.45, for some reason, I would feel more confident about Trayvon than Jordan, even though Jordan has run that fast this year. There's just a level of like consistency experience with Trayvon that I'm maybe edging with.
I want to, I mean, look, I'm trying to take my emotions out of it. I'm trying to call it like professional sport. And if I'm calling it like professional sport, as much as I want to agree with you, as much as I want to, and as much as I want to be wrong, Jordan Anthony, this is the thing about him. And I made a video where I'm sticking by what I said in the video because I even put on the thumbnail at one point, I was wrong. Like that's what I put, where I was like, you know what? I got to start grading him differently. And I've known this for a long time, but I have to really be honest about the report.
Hmm.
Fastest kid in high school, fastest 100, 200 combo. That's what he was. Football player while he's doing it. Goes to college, plays both, or does both, what have you. Shows up indoors, NCAA indoors, in the 60 and gets the silver medal, runner up to, Terrence Jones back when he was, starting his reign of terror on the NCAA, indoors anyway, because he's terrorizing them indoors. So he was right behind him as a freshman, then transfers twice for football slash track, whatever.
Hmm.
Only runs track for Arkansas, not at Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, yeah.
And then when we do see him, because he doesn't run, there's a year where he doesn't run. And then when he does decide to run again, NCAA indoor champion and NCAA outdoor champion.
Yep.
The only blip on the radar would be his NCAA outdoor as a freshman, where he was coming off of spring
Hmm.
football. That's the only time where he didn't show up.
Yeah.
And do we really count that? He was about to hit the portal. Who knows what was going on behind closed doors?
Yeah, and
So
that's so long ago. It's like,
yeah, but basically what I'm saying is 3 out of 4 seasons he was basically the guy. He was the runner-up as a freshman, as a football track guy, and when he decided I'm gonna run some track for real, he beat everybody in the 60 and the 100. So now that I've seen that, and then this year the 6.43, I'm like, maybe I need to just acknowledge that you have that next cut of talent. Trayvon
Mhm.
has that next cut of talent, but he's at a different point in his career where it
Very
takes
true.
a whole lot more for him to run fast now than it once did.
Very true.
He's picking his spots, and this might be one of those spots. But to be clear, when you mention past success, I don't think Trayvon's run 6.4 since that Clemson race.
Since 2023.
And
Yeah.
that was, and he got injured right after that.
Yeah. That was
Like
Yeah.
shortly after that was when the injuries started rolling back for him. So that's why when I said 650, going off of real races we've seen from 2023 till now, for him and Ronnie Baker, 650 is what I believe in from them. 649 is basically 650, but 650, I think that's fair that they can run that
Oh yeah.
on that day. But
Of
when you tell
course.
me 645, we would now need to see Trayvon become somebody from 2023 on back.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
And
true.
that's
That's true.
why, and the same thing with Ronnie, where we'd have to see them turn the clock back now. Whereas Trayvon, John Jordan, he just got to be
Jordan, yep.
him. Like he's now showing us,
Very
I just
true.
got to be a version of me. He got a lot of cushion. That's the point. I honestly
Yeah.
think that between 643 and 650, he can do anything and still win. That's what I
Mm,
think is going to happen. If they decide to go with the pace, or he takes it out and they go with it, hey, it's a whole lot more exciting for us. I mean, can I see a world where Ronnie Baker gets it? I could. I can see
yeah.
how that world plays out because he's coming off of the championship from last year. And if we're living in that world, that means he probably did figure out how to go 648. Jordan couldn't get it together to get to that backside of the 6'4s. And Trayvon still hit right where he was supposed to, 650.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
sure he's trying to go faster. I'm saying I'm just judging off of the races that we watched
Yeah, that's
in
true. That's
order to
true.
be like, take my emotions entirely out of this and just call it like sport. Noah is not even a wild card. He's just in another lane somewhere, and we'll see what happens. Like that's how I feel. I don't think we're
No, that's
getting the
true.
same Noah from 2024. I don't
Nah,
think
we
that
the
guy is coming to this track.
no,
I
no,
just
no, no,
think
no.
that his talent will just out muscle everybody to make sure that he's in that final and not in the back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. And like to cross check myself on Jordan, he actually opened up in Boston with 657, and then he ran 664 in New York City, and then he ran the 643. So he actually was better than I had remembered in terms of like his season's opener. So yeah, I essentially like I think Jordan Anthony and Trayvon Bromell would be my two guys who I'm picking to go to World Indoors in that top two spot with Noah, Ronnie right behind. But like you, I can see I could see any of those races playing out where like maybe Ronnie wins, maybe Noah, wins, right? Like just depending on how the race actually does play out. But yeah, Jordan seems to at least be trending in that direction where it's like, all right, 6'4", I might bet on him actually winning.
Do you think the winner will be slower than 650? Like 651 on down?
Hmm.
Because I don't.
You don't think so? I'm not
I feel like
sure.
you're gonna have to go 650 to say I'm the winner in this race. And that's why I don't think is gonna get it. If they drop back to him, again, if the field falls back to him, then if the I'll tell if you tell me the winning time, I'll tell you whether Noah could win. If you told me the winning time was 651, then Noah won.
You think?
That's
Well,
just how I feel.
I was gonna
Like
say,
'cause I feel
ooh,
like he's not gonna butcher it that badly. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that y'all got to come back to where he's at right now.
I think I was actually gonna say 649 is my line of any of these guys can win it. But once you get below like 648, that's when, for me personally, I'm looking at Jordan and Trayvon as like the two. But I can see a world where it's a close race. We see 649 on the board, and somehow Noah pulls it off, right? Because again, he gets to run his heat, and then he goes into the final. You know, there's a world that happens, but I can't pick Noah to win. I can't pick Noah to win because it's there's too much variance. He hasn't run a 60 this year. It's just like it's way way too close. It's way way too close.
Yeah. I'm looking at Ronnie Baker's season from last year. 650 was his fastest time.
Yeah, and like the other thing is I mean, tracks is a whole thing, but like this Staten Island track is not like Arkansas or something. Like this isn't or like, some of these tracks in Europe. Like, this is a lot of high school meets happen here. So this isn't like okay, this is a really, really fast track. Granted, it's not to say we can't see a 641 or 642 if Jordan Anthony wants to, set a PB, but like I don't know. I'd bet on 650 happening more than like
I
642,
mean, the winning
getting the
time
win.
last year was 652.
There you go.
I
There you
mean, and
go.
that was Ronnie Baker, but again, Trayvon didn't run. And after 652, it was the field. 658, 658, 659, 660.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
That's what you were looking at. 660. It was 658 to 662. Everybody else.
so
So that's why I say that crowd, y'all could get to the final, but y'all ain't getting the medal. Not this time.
nah. Because
Not with this group.
if Ronnie Baker in one of his really, really good years is running 652 to get the win at USA's in the same place, the same facility, at that point, no, like no one else. And then everyone behind him ran, like you said, 658. That's going to be the rest of the field. And only Jordan, Trayvon, and Noah can keep up with that pace, are capable of actually doing that. Like, again, all due respect, if any of these guys, like any of the guys outside the top four, if they ran 652, that'd be a pretty big deal. To me, that'd be like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, they had to do. So that mean I mean, do I think? Okay, look. Do I think the 643 is coming back? No, I don't. Like I said, I
Mm,
just thought that Jordan has enough cushion where 648, 649 can still get it done. And again, I think 650, judging off of this, I'm still standing on business. I think 650 notice I'm giving people a bump. This is taking him to this is taking him to the personal best, the fastest time we've seen from either Trayvon or Ronnie over the last 2 years.
yeah, yeah.
I'm putting them both at 650 and saying whichever way you want it, it could go on in either direction. Can Jordan just be him, the Tyson Invitational guy? And if he can be a version of that, he'll be on the other side. And Noah will likely
Mm,
be in the gap between them and the rest of the choose my words carefully, the field.
the field.
Like the field. That's the way to put it. Because this is what we're doing. The USA Indoor Meet is the most erratic track and field event that we have. We got to put this on the board though. Americans race to lose when they go to World Indoors.
No. To me, I think this is where it could get interesting because we've seen. So I think at least for me, the one data point is we've seen Akeem Blake beat out Jordan Anthony twice this year, both in Boston and at the Milrose games. And even at Milrose, I was actually pretty impressed because Akeem Blake didn't get like a great start, but he was still able to kind of run down the field. So I don't think this is their race to lose. I think they'll actually have some competition. Now, granted, there's like some other guys like uh Sunday Akhenaten. He changed his name to Saeed Salem, representing a different country. But he's run 648. I'm not like he's not a 6'4" consistent runner. Like I'm not putting that on the board, right? Like, but I mean, and then you have guys like Eloy Benitez. I don't think he's run like super fast this year, but he's
Oh,
someone who was at World Indoors last year, and he, I think he pulled up, right? He got injured in that World Indoor final. Um, he was in a couple of these races at Milrose
yeah.
and Boston and
He
stuff
ran
like that.
653 apparently into a negative down in Puerto
Oh,
Rico.
really?
Negative point 0.7.
Okay, okay.
So
So it's not too
if
bad.
that's true, that was his best race of the season.
Of the season. So I mean, there's a couple guys, but I wouldn't say this isn't 2024 when it's like Christian Coleman, Noah Lyles, who's gonna win the gold medal. That this is to me, that's not this situation this year. It
I
gets
mean,
tougher when we go to
Jordan
Worlds.
Anthony is supposed to win. If he goes,
Ah,
first off, he's supposed to go. Let's start there.
oh yeah, he if he qualifies, he better go to World Indoors.
And
Like
two, he's supposed to win.
I don't think he's supposed to win.
643, 648 from a guy we've never heard of, who's his same age.
Well, so Akeem Blake though has run not this year, but he's run 645 in the past. He might have run 643 in the past, but he has a world indoor bronze medal
Bronze, yeah.
behind only Christian Coleman and Noah Lyles. So
Jordan
it's not
Anthony,
like
don't he's not that type of guy. He could care less, man. You got to remember, he think track is soft, not my words, his words. He said, "Y'all out here wearing sweatshirts. Y'all think it's cold." Like I watched the interview that he did with Anthony.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
man
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care. He think that we soft. He didn't come over the track from football. If because the truth is, how I put this. I haven't talked to Jordan personally. I'm sure maybe one day that conversation will get had. But as far as I can tell, track and field for him, he's taking it seriously. But truth be told, considering he got a contract that had money on the table that was guaranteed, and he had done enough to get that far, it's kind of like the great experiment. Because worst case scenario, he just goes out and tries out for the NFL. Because he'll be coming off of I was a pro track athlete, played football for Arkansas. Hey, you can try to have me do a go route. And remember, if Devin Allen can play some preseason games with the Eagles, sorry to tell you, Jordan Anthony can at least do that much.
Yeah, I guess it's true. I guess it's true.
Just being honest. So like it's kind of like it's no pressure on him. That said, he ain't here to lose to Sunday Akinton. God bless. He's not here to lose to that guy. And Eric Cardoso of Brazil. Jordan Anthony's not trying to lose to these people.
No.
So unless you have like I'm talking about mindset where he really believed that like it's his race to lose. And on the clock, he was not wrong. So Akeem Blake has real reason to believe that he could put it together and beat him. That I would agree with. Like he has, but the rest of these guys are just hoping they can run their best race. I mean,
Yeah.
'cause I've seen a lot
Y-
of these guys run on the World Indoor Tour. Like Ali Al Balushi, he's a guy who's trying to get into a final.
Yeah, I mean he's like the other guy who's been relatively consistent in like the 6'5" mids and
Yeah, hey,
lows.
indoor merchant.
Hey, it's true.
He's an
It's
indoor
true.
merchant. He because every year with indoor that since I've been paying attention, he been here.
Yeah. He's been out here for some years. This year
Is
he's been
Jeremiah
relatively consistent.
is
Jeremiah
Jeremiah Zoo
Zoo,
gonna be there?
yeah, he's going to World Indoors. He just won British champs. He hasn't run like his, I guess like fast time. Well, I don't know actually, because last year it's not like he was running extremely fast throughout the season. Like he hit 6:49, but that was like in the final at World Indoors to win the gold medal. So, you know, he's in the mix. Um, yeah, like he's run 6:53 this year. So he's probably actually right around what he's done last year, going into World Indoors. But at least for me, I don't think so. Yes, I think Jordan Anthony, like, okay, just before just thinking about worlds, if Jordan Anthony doesn't make Team USA in the 60, then that actually would be a surprise to me. I think he definitely should finish in that top two. But going to World Indoors, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't actually win a medal. Now, I'm probably picking him to win a medal, maybe gold. I think he'll be in that conversation, but I don't know. I'm not on the train of like, oh, he's supposed to win or he's like a gold medal favorite, or based on just the time
I
for me
mean,
personally.
when did Trayvon Bromell win his gold? Where was he on his
2016.
trajectory? He
He had already,
did 2 years of NCAA, and in his first year leaving,
yeah,
he won it, right?
yeah, and he had already won an outdoor medal in the 100 behind Usain Bolt, behind Justin Gatlin at World Champs.
All
So he
right,
had
so
some level of experience.
yeah, but ultimately, I'm saying like for where Jordan Anthony is on the schedule, he's supposed to win. Like, remember, winning World Indoors is a rite of passage to me for the American sprinters, more or less. And if you lose, you're supposed to lose to an American. Name,
I don't know.
think about if you're a young sprinter, didn't Marvin, wait, okay, look, let's go through the names. Didn't even Marvin Bracy do it?
He Marvin Bracey got silver in 2014,
Who was he
and then
behind?
the British guy, I forget the British guy's name, but 2014 he got I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, 2014 he got the silver medal at World Indoors. Um,
Because it feels like generally speaking, it's like when you're coming onto the pro scene, especially if you're coming in during the off year and you're one of these new upstart, guys, like you're supposed to go over there and come back with hardware, preferably gold. And we might give you a pass under a few details, depending on like what your circumstance was. But don't
mhm.
let you go over there and lose to, I'm gonna say the names, Jeremiah Azu,
Well, okay,
and
so
who is a gold medalist, yes, but he's an indoor merchant as well. So, like, if you're not,
well, I
you're not
just
supposed to lose to them if you think you're gonna. And here's the catch:
yeah.
if you really think you're gonna be one of the guys outdoors in the 100 one day and win medals, plural,
Hmm.
you're supposed to do this. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I
if you're going here, you're not really supposed to come here and lose and then think you about to be out here and be. Because remember, you still got to get out of USA's.
yeah. Well, yeah, of
Outdoors, you still
course.
got to get out, like qualify out. So how would we know that you have what it takes to always represent and get to that next tier? Because if Jordan Anthony's getting the spot, right? Let's just play this out. Because
Hmm.
looking forward to the 100. Whose spot is he taking? Because only three in
Wait,
the 100.
in the 100 outdoors. I mean,
So
well,
who 2027, if he's getting the spot, who's not going?
well, that's the thing. That's the
To Noah and
problem.
Kenny, is it Noah, Kenny, and Jordan?
Well, well, I guess in theory, I'm thinking through it now. It's tough because Noah Kenny gone, right, already. Um, but then you add in the idea of a Christian Coleman, who's still, still in the mix. You add in a conversation of Trayvon Bromell, right? Still in the mix. Like these are guys who are still running 9.8s, right? Now, granted, we did see Courtney Lindsay and T. Mars McCallum, beat them at USA's, but like if you're just like picking names out of a hat or like, picking, okay, I want these guys, you're probably gonna look at Trayvon and Christian based on like what they've done and like the form that they've shown when talking about the 100 outdoors behind Kenny and Noah. So he would that those are like the spots that he would potentially take. But when looking at the 60, I don't know if losing an indoor 60 is as indicative of performance outdoors in the 100, only because some of these guys, just like we said, Jeremiah Azu, like wins the world indoor gold, outdoors, I'm not like he's not like in the conversation as much. I just looked it up. Like Richard Kilty is the guy who beat Marvin Bracey in 2014.
I remember that name.
Like exactly. Like
He was an indoor merchant. He was.
it's what I'm saying. And then Marvin Bracey years later he goes on to win a medal individually. So
Well, I don't know if that medal's going to stick now.
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's a
it does, but it doesn't. It's going to be one of those like
yeah.
asterisk things.
That's true. But I guess I'm just like if Jordan Anthony goes to World Indoors and doesn't medal in the 60, that doesn't really tell me as much. Maybe a little bit about because he's young and this would be his first like major championship, but it doesn't tell me as much about what would happen in the 100 meters outdoors just based on how different the fields are. Like,
Yeah, because
you know,
I guess what I'm the not I guess the clarified version of the point is Noah and Kenny have earned this status where we just give them a spot. They be running
yeah.
for it, but we just be giving it to them.
Yeah.
And what that really does is it makes it so that there's one spot left. See, when we say both names, and now we're talking about the 100, both of them went to the Olympic Games, and Fred got the other spot. Fred's no longer a part of the conversation, not for
Yep.
this. And then when we move on, I mean, Fred was already getting spots for years prior.
For every year, basically. Yeah.
And then when Noah didn't run the 100 this past year, Kenny is the American champion. There were two spots.
Yeah. Just, yeah, slotted right in.
So my point is that if that's what we're doing, now the question is, are they still going to be those guys in 2027 or 2028, like both of those years? Because if they are, if we're saying that, if we're saying that they're picking the spots, circling it on the calendar, dialing it in, and still coming as those guys, is Jordan Anthony that last spot now? Whether he's ahead of them, behind them, but ahead of everybody else. Because when you bring up Christian Coleman and Trayvon Bromell and all of them, going off of the last few years, those are the guys who are in the chase pack right now. If we're being real,
Yeah. Yeah.
like you can have your favorites and who you like. They've been in the chase pack. They are not the front runners anymore.
Yeah. No,
Is
it's true.
Jordan Anthony able to beat the chase pack? And for me to believe he can beat that chase pack, you got to show me something. The 643 showed me that it could happen. Now I want to see him cash it in.
Mm.
If he cashes it in, because see, there's a psychological component to every sport. Do you think people? This is not just time trials. You're running real races. And if Jordan Anthony can cash it in, I'm gonna say this: if he wins World Indoor, this is what I think would be the residual effect. If he wins the World Indoor, I think there'll be a residual that goes into outdoors that will show up for the USA 100, where every other sprinter now will be aware he's probably gonna have me at 60
Mm.
So how am I going to try to compensate for that? And when that happens, it's the same way we say Noah controlled races. Everybody has a degree of this depend once you become one of the like one of those guys who's like earmarked as like, okay, he's in the field. There's people who even when you're in your set, you're trying to block out that they're there. He wasn't that guy last year when he showed up to USA's. He
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
a guy
yeah,
in a lane who had a nice
yeah,
NCAA's. This year, he could potentially get to that point. That's why Noah and Kenny have the status that they do. People don't run like themselves when they're in the range. Like when they're on the line, they don't run like themselves anymore. They're too busy trying to beat them that they get outside of themselves.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's including the chase pack, in my opinion. I think there's a sense of, again, it's subconscious, but there's an awareness of, oh man, there's a measuring stick I gotta beat.
Yeah. I guess for me, that's this 643 as of now, it proved to me that he is now in this, he is like, he should be in this chase pack behind Noah and Kenny. That's where I think, right? Because last year he didn't even make like he didn't make it through the rounds at USA's at
Yeah.
the in the 100, right? So now he's kind of showing his talent, the talent that we in theory should have seen at USA's outdoors in terms of now this time with the 643. So now you should be in this chase pack. I think that maintains whether he wins world indoor gold or not, like whether he wins a medal or not, because it's still this for me, it's still the
Yeah.
60 meters. That doesn't change anything about the 100 meters outdoors because T Mars McCallum didn't do much in the 60 last year or much in general in the 100. Like, he did some things, but it's not like, okay, I'm slotting T Mars McCallum in, right?
I
Based on
don't
the
know if we'll
60.
ever say his name again with Team USA.
Okay, so then
Like when it comes to
that's
that's what Team Arthur McCallum, that's how I see him. We might, but remember, there's a lot of people who made Team USA whose names we don't say much ever again. Isaiah
of
Young,
course,
never said his
of
name
course,
ever again. Marcel, what was it? Maurice Mitchell. Like there's a bunch of names. Ernest
yeah,
Mitchell. There's names we could pull out that
yeah,
made Team USA one time,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, of
even in an
course,
Olympic year. Remember, when the Chase Pack makes it, the thing is Christian Coleman and Trayvon Bromell fell back to the Chase Pack,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Because
they're
and
still considered
they're
to be
still in
upper
there
echelon Chase Pack.
because they've like proven themselves by winning medals at the global
Yeah,
stage, just in like a almost in a different generation, at this point to a degree.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and that's why it's like I'm trying to determine is Jordan Anthony in between the pack and Noah and Kenny? Is he running with Noah and Kenny? I have
yeah.
already know. I agree with you. He's already with that pack. I don't see why he wouldn't be as long as he's going to continue to execute. But I could see how he could separate himself from that pack, and winning World Indoors would be the warning shot.
No, I don't think for me winning world indoors doesn't change. Like this 643, and if he wins USA's, wins world indoors, that doesn't change anything. It just for the same reason that T Mars McCallum he's run 9.8 in the 100. He's run whatever 19.7 or whatever it was in the 200. Like he's run these like fast times, but to your point, who knows what may happen in the next couple years, right? I can't go based off of time and an indoor
Yeah,
medal when the other guys aren't actually there.
yeah. But when you bring up names, though, I mean, if we're gonna go there, two different reports. T. Martin McCallum was wildly unstable in his NCAA career up until now.
Yeah,
Wildly.
yeah, 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 yeah.
SECs, he was not a factor, as in like, oh, we got to watch out for him. He's just a guy in the race trying to make the final and see if he can get points. And then when it comes to the NCAA, same deal. He's just a guy trying to make the final. That's all he was. There was never a time where we ever said T. Martin McCallum's name expecting him to be the guy. Jordan Anthony convinced us to take him seriously as the guy. T. Martin
Hmm.
McCallum has always been fast. He just didn't know how to run fast on command. And then he
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
USA's and has the meat of his life in that 100
Very
by
true.
far. He ran personal best after personal best. He was doing stuff he ain't never did. His coach dialed it in perfect. Like
Yep.
they had just enough season and just enough everything to go perfect. And it's connected to that 200 that he had run in a few weeks prior after the NCAA season had ended.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That like where he was in that there was just a little wave where he was on one for what he was capable of. And then he fell right on back to the mean
Yeah, that's
because
true.
when that 200 started, He ran right back to the mean. When he went over to that told me when he got to Worlds, no disrespect, I lowered my expectations. He didn't even get out the prelims. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, I'm not trying to be harsh. The most respect I can give you, the most respect I can give you is to talk about these athletes and talk about these races like they actually matter. And actually, that's why when I pick apart the big name athletes, they earn the right to be picked apart. Like you ran fast enough for me to even pay attention when you run. There's
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people running out here who I ain't checking.
That's true. I guess it's just I'm thinking about for me, the 60 and the 100 are very different, and running fast in the 60 is not going to tell me enough to say, okay, you've separated yourself in any capacity from this chase pack in the
I hear
100.
you. I hear you.
That's what I'm
It's
thinking about.
just yeah, I get it. I ain't tripping over it. It's just that it's the prior report of those who went and who came off an NCAA, then go indoors. It's the combination of the circumstance. Christian
Yeah, yeah,
Coleman
yeah,
did
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Came
Christian Cole,
straight
I
off
mean, yeah,
NCAA,
yeah,
bang. I'm hey,
yeah,
Jordan already
2018.
missed one of the shots. That first was supposed to be on red, white, and blue. He missed that one. So I'm like, can we get another shot? You got a second chance. Can we get a shot? Because if you miss both of these, I'm putting you with the pack.
It's very true. And I'll say to your point, Justin Gatlin also kind of did it where 2002 he was in the NCAA's, he wins world indoor gold in 2003. And
Yep,
then he
the
he wins
shot.
Olympic and then like he goes on his run. So there's some precedent. There's some precedent, but it's it's just tough. It's very tough. It's tough. I don't know, but we'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I think Jordan Kidd, he's definitely in my conversation for. There's no world where he doesn't make the team, and then he should definitely be in. He's in my conversation for getting on the podium and challenging for the gold medal for sure. But
yeah,
it's a little TBD.
I'll tell you the. Here's my final thought from what you just said. You said there's no world where he doesn't make the team. I know where that world is. 2018. 2018, 2019. Because if we go back to that world with that Ronnie Baker
Oh
and
yeah,
that
nah,
Trayvon Bromell, if they can figure out how to get out the vault
yeah,
and
nah.
show up
Then
this weekend, then
yeah,
that could mess up this whole Jordan Anthony thing, no matter what he tried.
yeah, nah. That's like a that'd be if we
I'd
saw
love
that.
to see them go 643, 644, 645, like that type of. I mean,
If we
am I
saw
right?
that, then I'm betting on them to win the gold medal for sure. If we saw like that form again, then like not only are they back in that form and they already have the experience, then why would I bet against,
Oh
either of
yeah.
them?
Shout out to
Like,
Ramel Glaive, but hopefully you can get a bronze.
yeah,
Call
that'd
him the
be that.
Kishane killer.
So USA is coming up this weekend with the women's 60-meter dash on deck. And it's an interesting field. We do have at least a full field, thankfully we're not gonna, see what we saw last year where it's just like straight final. But I think the headliner here is going to be Jasa Sears, as she is the USA leader. She's one of the fastest in the world this year. She has come off of, last year where she was one of the fastest indoors. Didn't go to world indoors, but she's kind of the main player here. And we'll talk about, her potentially being in the conversation for an actual medal at World Indoor Champs. But behind her is where it does kind of start to break down a little bit in terms of the quality for USA women in the 60. Shout out to, Mackenzie Long. We've seen her in Olympic final in the 200 and NCAA champion, as well. We've seen, Anavia Battle. She's made, world championship finals and Olympic teams and things like that. We have a couple different names in the field. Maxwell twins are in the field as well, running the 60. Aaliyah Armstrong, a hurdler, is in the field. But what do you think about the women's 60 here for USA's this weekend?
Well, you breathed about the Maxwell twins, so I'll address them first for the people in the back. Because I'm the guy that the high school national recruit rankings, and I knew that there would be some high school kids to throw their names in the hat. I think they're doing like the little Nike NIL type situation.
Mm,
So I see them wearing the Nike kits, so that's probably what they'll show up running. But I believe they're both committed to run for Texas,
I think that,
University of
from what I
Texas. I'm
remember,
pretty
yeah, yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm just going off head here, but I have it on my site. And with that in mind, if they're showing up here, they're gonna probably try harder than just about everybody else because this means something to them. As like, oh, we're high school kids and they're letting us go and we get to run. They ran 7:20, 7:26. But for what this
Hmm.
field is, I mean, they know they'll be in the final. That's the first thing. They'll be in the final. And I mean, after that, I mean, they could mess around and get second or third. So now it's the question, are we going to send them?
I mean, maybe
Will
because
we?
it is top two. It is top two.
If one of
So
them gets second, which they is not too crazy, are we going to send them?
I think that's the case. As long as it doesn't conflict with, whatever
With
the
science class?
well, I was gonna say like whatever indoor nationals they do. Like
I mean, to go over to wherever this country is, they're gonna miss some school.
hey, I mean it's possible, but I guess that does highlight it's essentially Jason Sears and then everyone else, right? And like I said, this is you have some on paper quality names like Mackenzie Long and Anavia Battle. Like these are quality names who have competed against top women in the world on the biggest stages, Olympics and worlds. But in this specific field, there is a world where you see like the Maxwell twins, mixing up with them, right? Like,
I mean, the second seed on this list is Javelin Gardner. So for the people who don't know, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I used to be in the don't know up until like I Googled it. Javelin Gardner ran for BYU, sprinter, not a distance
Spencer.
runner, for
Yep.
Brigham Young University. College career ended a few years ago, so apparently she's still out here going for it and has run PRs. So, now she's the second entry at the USA indoor meet. Now, what did that mean? That I mean, as far as clocks go, she's supposed to be that second spot because it's like Jason Sears, Javelin Gardner, a tenth back on the feeds. Aaliyah Armstrong, who's not really a sprinter like that. She's really more of a hurdler. I think that's how we think of her. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's
Like,
doubling up at this meet, but
but I
she,
mean, so maybe she'll run it, maybe she won't. Who knows? But I mean, she's in at an entry, and then you have the high school kids,
yeah,
and then a bunch of other athletes who may be still running for a college, maybe like smaller conferences. Because if you're in a
yeah.
power conference, then you're busy this weekend. But if you're in a smaller conference, then it might not conflict, and they send you now to go run. Then you have the unattached athletes, of which we have many out here. Again, the indoor merchants is primarily the unattached athletes because that's their best shot to do anything. Like your
Hmm.
first USA final will likely be an indoor final because once we get to the 100-meter conversation and a whole bunch of new names walk through the underpass or whatever you want to call it. We'll walk out of the what's that room they call it?
The call room.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once
The
they
call
come out
room.
that call room and Melissa Jefferson Wooden and the band, I call them the
Yeah, I mean,
band, 3LW, when or Destiny's Child, when them girls get up, it's Melissa Jefferson Wooden and Sha'Carri Richardson and TT Terry. Oh, it's a wrap.
oh yeah, it's a whole
Oh
different
yeah,
conversation.
Destiny's Child is here, man. Y'all gonna have to sit. Y'all gonna have to sit down
It's a whole
and
different
create
conversation.
space for them to, come on. And then they got their backup singers who train with them. Kayla White.
No,
I mean,
I ain't gonna do Kayla White as a backup singer, but
but my point is that hey, because I ain't backing down from it. I'm not being facetious. I'm just saying, like, let's be clear that there are three women who train at the same group who all are prominent in their own way. Three. Anybody else who trains with that group is trying to make a name for themselves. Those other women have a name because TT Terry, as many have said, she's the best relay runner we got in the 4x1 and has
mm,
consistently always been on that relay getting golds. So she got a whole bunch of golds to run these relays. And she had made finals, just like the Olympic final in the 100.
hmm
And then you move on to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, no explanation needed. And
hmm
then you move on to Sha'Carri Richardson, no explanation needed. That's two out of the three, that's the last two world golds we had, not including the Olympic gold
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and the podium. So let that thing in. They were both Olympic podium, gold, gold.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just calling it like I see it. Like, yeah, that's a pretty high bar.
Yeah, no, of
If you
course, of
train with
course.
them and you making a name, that's a high bar. to match, to be like, basically, you got to win a gold. Win a gold, get an Olympic medal, or figure out a way to get multiple 4x1 golds, because
Hmm.
then even one won't count before we can put you as like, on the stage with them on the same level. But none of those ladies are here. So
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah,
tangent to say, none of the crew,
yeah.
none of the crew.
Yeah, yeah, none of
So
them. I think this is, like I said, Jason Sears. She's the top American by far, and really the conversation with Jason is, I guess there's two conversations. One is just looking to see who's going to join her, to the World Indoor Champs, and then two, can Jason Sears actually win a medal at World Indoor Champs? Because again, shout out to everyone, shout out to whoever joins her, but I'm not confident in whatever happens kind of behind her.
who
Um,
beat her last year?
it was Celera Barnes who beat her by like a hair.
Okay,
And
and
Celera
she's
Barnes
not
this
on
year
the.
is, yeah, she's injured this year. She actually was going to run at Milrose, but I think she's injured this year, so she's not
Okay,
running.
because I was
Hmm.
wondering, like, Jason Sears didn't win,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
somebody
She
beat
didn't.
you, and now you said Celera Barnes. Yeah, okay, yeah, she would be in that. She's in that chase pack,
Exactly, exactly.
and
Yeah,
but
yeah,
indoors she was able to get it.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
well, I mean, honestly, when unlike the men, I have very little confidence in Team USA coming back with a medal in the women's 60 for the World Indoor.
Oh, interesting. I, I actually think I have. Well, no, I have decent confidence in Jasis being able to win a medal. Now, I'm not like slotting her in, like, definitely she's going to be able to get a medal.
Yeah.
I think she's essentially in the pack, like essentially with everyone else, to be clear, behind Julian Alfred when we're talking about 60-meter medals at World Indoors this year. But I'm a little mixed for now.
I
But she
mean,
can.
is Brianna Liston gonna run?
But maybe she has to. I think it's TBD. I'm not sure if she's going to run. Maybe. But she's in that conversation.
I mean, because when we talk about medals, here, look, as far as I can tell, okay, let's back up. Is Julian
Mhm.
Alfred gonna run? We don't know.
That's still a question. My
All right.
assumption
If
is she
Julian
will,
Alfred
but
runs, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it. Because that's
wait.
one medal gone.
Okay.
And
Yes. Yeah,
then
yeah.
Zayn Abdotho, that's another medal gone.
Probably, probably.
I mean, she'd have to mess up.
I think I
If
think
she run
there's
like
a
herself.
yeah, I have confidence in someone like Zainab Doso, but I think behind Julian Alfred, the field is actually very, very close. I think it's very, very close. Because Julian Alfred, with her, she can wake up and run 6'9". Like she's doing her thing. She's an Olympic champion. When you're talking about all those names that you just spoke about, those Sha'Carri Richardsons, those Melissa Jefferson Woodens, obviously shout out to TT Terry, but like, those two at least, and those Sharika Jacksons, that's the realm that Julian Alfred is in, both in the 100 and in the 60. It's a whole different thing because none of those women run the
Really
60.
run it, yeah.
Yeah. So then behind her, though, Zainab Doso, she's been consistent indoors. She's actually medaled at in 2024 and in 2025 at World Indoors. But I think those Patricia Vander Weekends, the Iwa Swobodas, even Dean Asher Smith, like
Yeah.
Amy Hunt,
Svoboda
like
hasn't been running like how she used to run this year. Like
yeah,
709 is her best. But if she pulled that out the vault, then there you have it. Patricia
yeah,
Patricia Van der Vaken is my next. And it's not just the leaderboard. I've been noticing her for a while.
yeah.
So as
She
a
medaled
result,
last year. She got a medal last year at
yeah.
World
So that's
Indoors.
why I'd say like Jason Shears might do it, but she gonna have to take it. It's not there. It's not like I'm a front runner. I don't have cushion. She got to
Oh yeah,
execute.
nah.
And that's why I'm not confident because with the men, we had men who we were like, find a former version of yourself and or execute as your best self thus far, and you're good. And here we're saying, run the absolute best race you got and let's see how this go. Not the
Yeah.
same conversation. And that's why I said if Julian come, forget it. I'm the medals are done to me. Because I trust Patricia Van der Beek. Indoors, at the World Indoors, I trust her. And Zainab Doso, I
Hmm.
trust her. And Julian Alfred needs no explanation. So to take it from them, which you could do, you got to take it.
Hmm.
It's not going to be because see, here's the thing. Let's use Zainab Doso and Patricia Van der Vaken both. They're both in the same bag. They
Yeah.
actually want to win World Indoors.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what makes them dangerous.
Yeah.
This is not a warm up for them.
Yeah.
To them, this is a championship. Jason Sears thinks she's preparing for our outdoor season. These women say we'll worry about outdoors when it gets hot. like,
No,
like,
ooh, that's
you see the
fair.
difference?
It's there's a difference.
It's a mindset thing.
Yeah, the mindset is definitely different. I just don't, not yet. Not yet. I don't see their talent as like, okay, I can slot them in for metal, like definitely slot them in ahead of Jason Sears or Dean Asher Smith. Essentially, I just see them. I see Julian Alfred, and then I see a pool of different athletes. Like, like we were just talking about the men in terms of like U.S. men, where it's like Noah Lyles, Kenny B, and then there's a whole chase pack. I see Julian Alfred and then a whole chase pack because everyone has run those similar personal bests of like 7-0. Obviously, Zain Abdosa just dropped 6-9. Like everyone is in that same realm where, oh yeah, if like it's Zain Abdosa and Jason Sears, silver and bronze, wouldn't surprise me. If Patricia and Dean Asher Smith, silver, bronze, like any of those mixes wouldn't surprise me. But you're right that Zainab and Patricia are like, okay, this is our time. Because like all due respect, like I can I have more confidence going outdoors, like I said, with Julian Alfred. Like we know what she can do. Dean Asher Smith, she makes finals. She has, world medals from previous years. We know what she can do. Jason Sears, at least, she was, top four at USA's. She was, she's in that mix in terms of 100-meter sprint. She's run 10-7, 10-8, all that. But the Zainabs, the Patricias, like they're not the 100-meter sprinters that we would look at when we're talking about those other women.
Well, let's back up. I'm gonna say, and I've said this before, and I'm not backing down from this part either. Again, I'm trying to keep the same energy and talk about this like sport. That's how professional sport goes, where we talk
Hmm.
about the races that they happen. Jason Sears, her talent is undeniable. What keeps me from saying her talent is scary is that it feels as if when the big moment comes, I'm not confident that she's going to execute. I said this before the USA's last year when we had Dawn Harper Nelson on. And I know she got on me for it. And then when the races were over, I felt very good about what I said, which is that I just don't have confidence that when the big moment comes, I'm getting that race from her. Because historically speaking, I haven't seen it. She
Yeah,
runs
yeah, yeah,
fast, but she runs fast in moments that don't matter. And then when the moment that she needs it, she's not exactly that woman.
yeah,
And I think it's because she knows this is the moment. And she's still figuring out how to execute in said moment. Now, the USA is essentially a no pressure zone now because it's like they just don't have the talent.
yeah. She
Like
can
just
fall
being
back
real, like
and
there's literally
it's not
nobody there
even.
who has the talent
Yeah,
to beat her. But that's a how put it, that's not a blessing when it comes to world indoors because it's almost like her season is already kind of truncated and now she's just doing time trials, training her way to world indoors, assuming she goes. At which point you now have to learn how to compete.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
like, when's the last time you were in a race with somebody who could actually beat you? I mean, was it Tyson Invitational with Julian Alfred?
yeah,
Where she beat you?
yeah. Well, I mean,
Like,
no,
what
that's
happened?
well, that's true. I mean, who everyone's gonna lose to Julian Alfred, like literally every single person
But I'm saying
possibly.
like,
But no, you're right. You're right.
we didn't. Yeah, like they're like you. It's like, what are we expecting to change? The difference is Zainab Dotho, Patricia Van der Veek, and they've been racing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
They've been racing.
racing, and being able to taste what does it feel like to get success and like fight through stuff. Even Amy
Yeah,
Hunt, if she pull up, is dangerous.
yeah, yeah. Amy Hunt is
Because
gonna,
she was
she's gonna be
world
there.
indoor, world outdoor 200 now with the semi silver medal. So like
Yep.
when I saw that 704, I was like, oh man, even she becoming a problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very true. They have been racing frequently throughout the season, whereas yes, Jason Sears, she only raced Julian Alfred, and then some other races as well, one or two, I think one other race, but um, she hasn't had that like consistency, and to the point of we saw at US, she was running very very fast on the circuit outdoors, and then got to USA's. Even if I remember correctly, at USA's she ran like 10. She definitely ran sub 11 in the rounds, and then I think she didn't break 11 in the final. Even though she got picked on the relay, but then similar situation at um, indoors. She was doing very well on the circuit, and then she got to USA indoors and just got edged out. So there is definitely a case there. But I do think I'm for me personally, I'm just not sure if like okay, I can just slot in Zayn Abdoso and Patricia Van der Weeken ahead of definitely ahead of them, like confidently ahead of like Jason Sears, Dean Asher Smith, who haven't run as fast on the clock, but or at least this year. But I just feel like they're still in that mix. They're still just in that same mix. Like it just wouldn't surprise me to see any one of them in the silver or bronze positions behind Julian Alfred at World
Yeah,
Indoors.
I mean that's fair. I mean, I hear it. I'm just going. With that World Indoor Tour, I have respect for it. I know a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people
yeah,
don't
yeah.
run it. The Americans don't, but I see what those environments are like.
It's true. Yeah.
And those races are way more competitive, like entertaining, have more juice behind them for that for those crowds. So like, I feel like they again that energy doesn't exist because like Milrose is sort of like let's go get a field. That's how it
Yeah, yeah,
feels.
yeah.
It's like let's go ask people to run.
Those World Indoor Tours are basically the indoor diamond leagues. Like
Yeah,
those are what it is in Europe. Like those are the things. Like okay, these are the big meets. Everyone's showing up. You got world records going. And all these races. Like that. That's what it is. So there is that aspect there. There is definitely is that aspect there. But
yeah. So I mean, hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Julian Alfred versus the field when we get to the real conversation.
yeah.
And then Abdoso has shown that she can put pressure on her. That's how I evaluated the 699, which
Oh
is,
yeah.
oh, Julian, you got to run.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she don't play anyway, but now she's like, all right, I'll be ready. I'll have something for you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I ain't scared of you. But at least it's like it's good to have that person there that's like, you got to run like yourself, right? You can't drop back. And that's why I
Exactly.
say that's the scariest thing about USA Indoor this year for Jason Sears. Because yes, that wasn't true last year. She still, maybe that's why she lost. Maybe she lost because she didn't, like when Solara Barnes came out that hot with no
Mm.
prelim to get ready. It was
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
oh man, like I'm in a battle.
Yeah. And this is it. Like this is a
Like
race.
she was in a battle and so because is Solara Barnes even is she sponsored?
I think she's still with it. She was with Adidas previously, and I think she's still with Adidas. I'm not 100% sure though.
Okay. Yeah, because I know what's the name? Micaiah Briscoe, there was a period of time where she wasn't, right?
Yeah, even Makai Briscoe, I'm unsure because she hasn't run in some time now because she
Yeah.
didn't even go to USA Outdoors
Yeah, I don't think
herself. So
she's running this year, but
yeah.
I mean for
Oh
a
yeah,
long time.
Solera Barnes, she's still with Adidas.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I
still with
mean
Adidas.
Micaiah Briscoe been an indoor merchant for the past few years. Because like we would always keep seeing her name pop up and she was a factor for USA and she got a medal, didn't she?
Yeah,
At World
she
Indoor, yeah.
actually is the well, her and Mary Beth Saint, they're the last USA women to medal at World Indoors. Like we haven't seen a medal since 2022,
Yeah,
in the United States.
and that tells you a whole bunch about who runs indoors.
Oh yeah. Like
Because
if you
2022 we had people running. It just
Oh yeah, they beat out Shrika Jackson. Shrika Jackson ran World Indoors in 2022 and lost to Makai Briscoe and Mary Beth Saint. That had nothing to do with what happened outdoors because
yeah,
that's a whole different
yeah.
discussion. But
Hey, they were
yeah,
both indoor merchants. Like I mean they run the 100 of course, but like we don't and when it comes to the finals for USA's, there's a list of names that you
yeah,
go through and see Jason Sears, I think that's what you were pointing out. Like she clearly had the talent to be there with all the players in the 100 and we're just waiting to see her break through.
exactly. And maybe that's what I'm thinking about when I'm comparing to Patricia or Zainab, where like neither of them have broke or I'm sorry, 11 seconds outdoors in the 100. Like neither of them.
I thought
But
Patricia Van der Weyden did. You sure?
oh, if she did, she maybe
No, I'm not
just
saying like a
oh no no
lot,
no.
but
I honestly actually I don't remember. I'm just assuming. I know that Zainab Doso hasn't actually broke 11 seconds in the 100 yet outdoors. I actually don't even know about Patricia. It's
Patricia
possible she did.
11 flat dead on. That's what she ran.
Okay,
Like
11
literally,
flat dead
she
on.
ran a like 11:00 national record,
So okay, so
and
that
she
makes
ran
sense.
7:01 national record in the 60.
Okay, so then that makes sense. That makes sense. So when I'm comparing them to Jason Sears, who's run obviously she ran that 10.77 in the NCAA, but then outdoors when she's a pro, she's run 10.8s a few times, or maybe once or twice. She's run 10.9s a few times. Like maybe that's what is coming into my mind of like, okay, she has times on the board that should translate to a competitive 60 with these other women indoors because she's at least close to them in the 60 as well. But they are like true indoor, like both of them have medals at World Indoors. Zainab Doso has back-to-back medals at World Indoors. So there is an edge that they have there. And even again, to my against my own argument, I just said Sharika Jackson went to World Indoors. I think she finished like sixth place. Like she wasn't even in the conversation, but then she dominates outdoors. Like, it's
Yeah.
not even
I
a
mean,
thing. So
if but keep in mind everything's case by case. When you're somebody
yeah.
who has outdoor success, especially in a longer event, then it comes to the 60, just like when Noah came down to the 60, like we're viewing like for take it seriously. We're you have a different reason why you're there, and there's a different expectation of what we'll get on the
Hmm.
other end. For the people, a lot of athletes, like the indoor merchants, are those who are trying to build a career from these 60. And the
Yeah.
ones who have success with this approach are 60-meter runners.
Mm.
The problem is that success burns itself out on the 60 alone
Mm.
because they were never going to, like, they were never set up to run the one and the two yet. It was just, I can do the 60 the based on how I train. And if you peak hard for the 60 and run to that line, then it's a whole readjustment to run to the next one.
Mm.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Julian Alfred is running through the 60. Like in her mind, she's not just running a 60, she's running to that line.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, well, this is the first part of the race. And then they tell me stop. And she's confident enough and talented enough, she can run it like almost like a training run.
Yeah.
Like at least most of these 60s. Like her prelim at World Indoors is going to be a training run. Is that fair?
I mean, yeah. I mean, she
It's not a
she
race for
opened
her
she opened up and she ran like literally her season's opener was like seven flat. Like she,
with
you
no one
know,
behind her.
with literally no one. Not one of these races with
740
like
with behind her.
like no competition. Like literally her training run was personal best for these
Other
other
people.
women. Like so yes, to your point is like yeah. Like that's how it is.
That's true because she didn't feel anybody, didn't hear no steps after a while. It was just
No.
that's because I looked at the meet and I was like, of all the meets to go to, we really went to a meet where it was all college girls and none of the best college girls. So it's like you really didn't want to see nobody.
No, she literally was like, I just need a training race, and just so happened to run what other women would die for in terms of personal best. Like,
Yeah. Did she run
so
her final was what, 7:02, 7:0?
no, she ran her heat was 7:04, her final was seven flat. But the next meet is where she did
Okay.
7:01, and then she ran
There.
6:99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were not because like I remember I looked the second time. It was 7:40 and then 7:37
Oh yeah, the
for who was
the
behind her. Yeah.
yeah. So
Like on the
basically, yeah,
leaderboard.
that
So that's
that
why I said
person
both
improved.
races were
That
either that
person improved a
person.
little bit, but Julian improved a little bit too. It just so happened to be almost half a second.
I mean, in the 60, when somebody's beating you by zero point 0.4 seconds,
That's crazy.
you feel the thing,
Literally almost. No, that's
and you're
crazy.
getting second place.
Yeah,
Because it's not even that
yeah.
they're beating you by zero point 0.4 seconds. That happens. It's not, it's normally you're not second place. You're in the prelims, they win. Like you don't make it to the finals. So
Yeah.
that's the Julian Alfred experience. Hopefully she gives us a world indoor sighting. It would make it much more engaging for me. I mean, we'll
Oh
still pay
yeah.
attention to everybody else for what it is. If Julian Alfred don't come, I'm rooting for Patricia Van der Wegen.
Are you rooting for her to get the win?
Yeah, I feel like it's the best story. Do it for Luxembourg. If I said it
Nah.
wrong, I apologize. I'll get it right if she wins the gold.
Nah, I'm for me personally, if it's not Julian Alfred, I want Zainab Doso because again, she's already gotten a bronze, she's gotten a silver. It's like now is her time to get a gold medal.
Oh
So
yeah, I respect it. Hey, I can get aboard that train too, but I gotta make my picks. If I'm just putting on the fan hat for a moment, I feel like it's the best
mm,
story because the young lady from the nation that most people don't even realize is a nation.
yeah, it's true.
I mean, like, am I right? Like, do it for the culture. I'm always once we get past the big names, I'm just like, let's find the most random person we could get. And it's like, have you seen the young lady from Luxembourg?
Luxembourg. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, is that a city? And it's like, actually, no.
I mean, it actually, the country might be the size of a city.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, no, it's true.
Like, so hey, so that's the 60 on the
Yeah.
women's side.
My name is Anderson from the Final Leg.
And I'm Coach Rob from SCA Track and Field. And thank you for watching this segment from the finish line.
If you want to know what's really going on at the high school and college level, be sure to subscribe to Coach Rob Track and Field.
And if you want more content on the best track and field athletes in the world, be sure to subscribe to the Final Leg.